Welcome everyone to the GSR week preview for week number 2 of season 16. Australia is done, season 16 is officially underway, and we already have some storylines building across all 3 tiers. And tonight we will break down tier 1's result as the tier 2 and tier 3 as well, although at the time of recording, we don't have the official results yet. We only have the provisional results. So we're going to take a look at those still. And of course, we're going to look ahead to Bahrain. And I'm not doing it alone. Joining me here in, well, not the commentary booth, actually, but for this preview show is our dear co-owner here. And ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause to 8. 8, great to have you here. Australia gave us a lot to talk about already, didn't it?
Oh yes, yeah, it was an absolute banger of an opening 3 races to the season in all 3 tiers, especially in tier 1 and 2. Such close racing, and really GSR is in probably the strongest position it has ever been as we head into race 2 at Bahrain.
Yeah, definitely. And I mentioned it so many times already throughout the season or through the first race, but before as well. I'm so excited for what to see. Round 1 already gave us so much to talk about, and I would say we'll start right off with tier 1. And I mean, let's start at the top of it. That will be both in qualifying and the race the same. Straight away, Speed Demon makes a statement. Pole position, race win, clean execution. That's exactly how you want to start a championship campaign. What impressed you most about his performance?
Well, I mean, he finally broke his curse at long last. But it was just his consistency throughout the whole of qualifying and the race. Both him and Trixie were absolutely unstoppable in that race, and it was a very difficult one. Of course, I was in it as well. We had the wet to dry conditions. Yeah, it was the field was incredibly close. Speed Demon did not have an easy time at all with the likes of Trixie, AMG and Overdrive being and even Miranda at some points, to my surprise, being in there. So yeah, but it's been a great start to the season for him, and surely the start of him finally making a championship charge after he's fallen short in season 14 and 15.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it wasn't really a surprise for Speed Demon to take pole position. He obviously was the driver with the most pole positions last season. To be honest, I can't remember how many it was, but it was a lot, definitely. 8, okay. And also he took pole position in Australia in season 14 and season 15, so now he makes it 3 in a row in Australia. And then, yeah, he kept it clean during the race. But would you say this was raw dominance in the race, or just perfect execution at a track that suits him?
It absolutely was not dominance. I could tell you that, because as I mentioned, he had Trixie and AMG pushing him all the way there. But yeah, but it was just execution from his part. I was in the call when he crossed that line, and he was absolutely delighted. I could hear the relief in his voice after that, because he'd finally broken his curse. And Trixie, as I mentioned, he only finished 9/10 behind him. Trixie is also an incredibly strong driver, and well, I mean, the fact they're both in V car basically means none of us stand a chance in this championship. But I don't mind. They're both on top of their game. They both deserve to be there, and it's going to be a fascinating fight between the pair of them. And when eventually Overdrive picks himself up after what was a disappointing first round for him, being only down in 7th in the end.
Yeah, definitely. But we'll come to Overdrive in a bit. Let's stay with Speed Demon and Trixie for now. yeah, you mentioned Trixie put up quite a fight for Speed Demon. Obviously, in the end, it wasn't enough. The question now is, do you think Trixie lost this race maybe on the Saturday on qualifying? Do you think it would have maybe been a different outcome if Trixie would have been ahead of Speed Demon actually? Or do you think it was just nothing for Trixie he could have done to beat Speed Demon in Q1?
Maybe, but it was always going to be very difficult for Trixie. After all, it is Speed Demon's strongest track. It's his favorite one. So really, if there was any place that he was finally going to break this curse, it was this one.
Yeah, I would definitely. And maybe talking about Bahrain a little bit now. Obviously, Bahrain a little bit different track. Heavy braking zones. We've got a very tire-heavy track and strategy-driven. Do you think it favors him the same way? Speed Demon, it favors him the same way like Australia did? Or is maybe someone like Trixie or maybe even Overdrive better in a strategic race than he?
No, I don't know, because Bahrain's a lot more stop-start than Albert Park is. So it could. I mean, Speed Demon, he had a bit of a difficult race last season there. I need to check where he got. He still got P4. If you remember, it was a very topsy-turvy race last season in Bahrain, because it was Lazar's only win of the season. Obviously, Jake came back for a single race, but I mean, I think Speed Demon is better than he was last season, obviously, but still. I mean, what you got to remember is we didn't have Trixie this time last season, so I mean, I don't know. It's I'll get onto myself in a minute. Obviously, Bahrain's my strongest track, but I reckon Speed Demon could have this in the bag again, but again, he's got some very, very strong competition. I reckon Trixie can maybe get his first win. AMG, if he races, of course, AMG's only 4th reserve at the moment, so it's unsure if he'll be able to race. So, and maybe Matt will bounce back. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we only have one race so far, so gonna be interesting to see in Bahrain then if the current trend continues, if we see the same people fight again for the top spots, or if maybe somebody else who had a not so good race can fight back. But you mentioned it already, AMG. Let's quickly talk about him as well, because that is the story of the race in so many ways. AMG Tier 1 debut, first race, podium. That obviously is a very good result for him.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it, him being reserved and stuff. We might see him over the course of the season, or hopefully, because it was much fun to see him drive. Is this the start of a real contender, or do we need to see more, in your opinion?
Well, AMG didn't have the most straightforward of races, because after the first safety car, he went off. I'm guessing because he runs no line, but he had to, and I had my only fight with him in the race up until that point. But where he really starred was how he got back up on his feet and just passed the likes of myself, Logan, Miranda, and more leader in pretty quick succession. It did not take him long at all to get past us all. And then he just really, from that point, the V-carbs were just pulling each other along. So he didn't really stand much of a chance, even with that safety car. But AMG, he's a nice enough lad. I really, really respect him. And now he's seen how quick Speed Demon, Trixie, and Overdrive are. Could he be a dark horse for a 4th championship contender? Obviously, he's got to get in this race before he can make that happen. But if he does, could maybe see a first win in Bahrain. Anything can happen under the lights, after all.
Yeah, definitely. AMG, definitely one of the drivers that has to prove now that he could stay up there at the top. I mean, we saw him in the race towards the end of the race being very close to Speed Demon and Trixie. So they basically formed a trio there running in the last last laps. Although AMG then dropped back towards the end of the race. So yeah, maybe he still has to learn a little bit. You said he had his mistakes there. Obviously, that's not gonna help him in the long term. If you want to fight for the title, you have to do as less mistakes. No, wait, at least no.
Cleaner, yeah. He needs to be cleaner.
Cleaner, yeah. Basically, let's say that like that. But also maybe a little bit of speed, because I feel like, or a little bit of pace, I should say, because I feel like Speed Demon Trixie and I would also put Overdrive in there. Probably in a clean race, they probably be a little bit quicker. But right behind those three, I would definitely count them in. And you know, Speed Demon and Trixie, they obviously they are in the same team. You mentioned it. It's gonna be very difficult for any other team to beat them in the constructors. But that does also mean that they might gonna steal some points from each other. That they're gonna make their lives harder. Especially, we saw, for example, in Australia as well, where Trixie went for a move with 3 laps to go. This could pretty easily also end in tears for both of them, with V-Cups taking each other out. So, and then a driver like AMG might be the laughing third one to claim the win then in such cases. So yeah, we have to see. But impressive debut from AMG nonetheless.
Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully we're gonna see more of him in the next races then. Yeah, behind the podium, we've got, after the penalty, let's talk of Overdrive maybe for a brief moment then. Our current champion, Tier 1 champion season 15. Initially P4 behind AMG, got a 5-second time penalty though for a collision and drops down to P7.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, still a couple of points, but that is not a result that a champion can be happy with.
No, after all, he won here on his debut last season, and yeah, I must say it was a bit of a scrappy race for Matt there. He had that turn 1 collision with VMV Grenade. Well, I must say he did a good job. I didn't exactly make his life easy because I kept him behind for a few laps before he finally got me. And well, he did well to get past the likes of Miranda, but he just lost too much time at that point. Of course, the nail in the coffin really was the fact he made a strategy mistake under safety car and he pitted 1 lap earlier, and then he got spun all the way down to 17th. I think it was on lap 12 or something. So, but he did a really good job to fight back up to P4, but I think he probably made the most of what he could in that race. But that lap 1 incident with Grenade really cost him there.
Do you think he can come back in Bahrain, or do you feel like this could be a very difficult season for Overdrive this time out, because we got such a competitive field here this time?
Gonna be difficult for him, but if there's anyone that can do it, it's Matt. You know, he's obviously the reigning champion. He got 6 wins last season. You need that kind of consistency if you want to be champion again, and there's no one else in my mind that can do that.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, let's see then. Bahrain, like I said, different track. Little bit easier to overtake there, I would say. So this might benefit Overdrive then. And yeah, hopefully can bounce back from the season opener and yeah, have a good race then in Bahrain. Let's jump back to the guys ahead of him. So P4 and P5, I would do them both at the same time. P4, more leader. P5, Miranda. Very good result for both of them. Both having a little bit of an how do you say, Like we haven't seen much of them in the race because they had such a how do you say eight?
Quiet.
Quiet race basically.
Yeah.
We saw Miranda challenging the top 3 runners basically, Speed Demon, Trixie, AMG for some brief time, but in the end it wasn't enough for him. Molida had an even quieter race. He just somehow turned up there in P4, obviously profiting off the penalty for overdrive. Very good result for them.
Yeah, Miranda was probably my biggest surprise of that race, because in the off season he's joined SCG, and that has clearly increased his pace dramatically, because well last season he was at the tail end of tier 1, but now he's right in with the top guys, and that was a very impressive performance from the Chilean to start the season. He also got very lucky with his tire wear, because 99% is rear left was at the end. So he got very lucky. As for more leader, it may have been quiet on stream, but for me personally, it was not, because there was quite a lot of argy-bargy between himself and him. I absolutely minced him off the start. And then I, not intentionally, but off the first safety car restart, he tried to go around the outside of me at turn 1, but he couldn't, and then he went off into the grass. But from that point, he made really good ground, of course, helped by Matt's penalty, Miranda and Lenny's tire wear, and my mistake allowed him to get P4. Actually, some really good points for Red Bull there. I also want to talk about Logan, because he made that 2-stop work. He just about got ahead of me at the end. There was a run to the line between us two. Yeah, but but Logan has also really picked himself up after that, after the break he's had, and he's looking incredibly strong as well. I think he would have maybe been able to challenge the top 3 had he not have gone on the mediums for that second stint.
Yeah, definitely. I absolutely wanted to talk about Lochovic, because we both know him for quite some time now. Also been in the old GSR server as well, so he has quite a history with GSR. So I was very happy to first see him back here again, and secondly see him doing so good in the race. And you mentioned it, he was going for the alternative strategy. The only driver who went for the mediums and then the hards after the intermediate period. And I mean, you said it, he made it work. You could never know what could have been if we went for the hards immediately. You mentioned it, Miranda struggling on the hards at the end, was close to getting a puncture, so maybe for drivers like Lochovic it wouldn't have worked out, so we would have ended up with a puncture and falling down more. So fair play to him. He took the mediums quite some time, and also getting the point for the fastest lap in the end as well. So either way, good result for him on his return to GSR, and happy to see him back on the grid, scoring some decent points for Mercedes as well. What was after a difficult weekend after the other driver DNF'd. But nonetheless, very happy for Lochovic. Let's hope he can stay somewhere in that region for Bahrain as well, maybe a little bit even higher. That would be very good to see. But overall, very happy for him to be back. And let's talk maybe about someone who didn't have the greatest of races, or maybe he didn't finish where probably a lot of people were expecting him. Lenny, down in P8. Also probably not really a result that he will be happy with.
Well, the reason for that is just because his tires fell away at the end. Lenny was actually really good for the majority of that race. I wasn't able to catch him because I was in 4th, and I did catch him actually because of a mistake he made on lap 21. No, sorry, lap 20, I should say, when he got caught on the death curb and almost did the same as Grenade did, but he just about kept out the wall, but allowed myself and Matt to go through until I, of course, made my mistake, and Lenny was allowed back through again. But yeah, but Lenny, he did a good job managing those tires. Obviously, not as good as the other guys, which is what got him down a few positions. But he kept his penalties clean, and really, top of tier 2 last season. He's pretty close to the pace in tier 1. Maybe not quite there yet, but there's definitely room for improvement for the young German. You got to remember, he's only 13, so he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how old most of our drivers are, to be honest, but I think none comes that close to Lenny, I would say. Maybe Odin, the other German driver in here, but or one of the other German drivers, I should say. We do have quite a lot, actually. But yeah, like I said, Lenny has a bright future ahead of him, definitely. Has showed great potential last season in tier 2. Now he has the chance to prove himself in tier 1. And not gonna lie, I've got a feeling that he could improve massively over the course of the season. I think beginning of the season it will be a little bit of a struggle for him. Like maybe he can every now and then get inside the top 5. But I think it's gonna be difficult for him. But I think at the end of the season he could turn out to be a driver that could be on the podium on a regular basis, actually. So yeah, let's see then what the Alpine driver can do. Also went for the 1-stop, like you said. So yeah, we see some room for improvement, especially on the tire front there then. But yeah, they're definitely one of our drivers to watch this season. Yeah. And then yeah, we already come to you, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just let you do the talking, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it was a bit of an up and down race for me. I wasn't really on the pace in the inter period. I always struggle for traction in the inter period. So I did what I could, but then I gradually managed to gain back the time as the track dried. Obviously, I was helped due to the safety car there, and I was actually really happy with the pace on the hards. I of course got helped by Matt's calamity down the order, Grenade's crash, Lenny's scare. Obviously, I got past more leader as well. I got helped by Miranda's dramatically fading tires as well. But yeah, but unfortunately, what sealed it for me was my mistake at turn 13. It wasn't a big mistake. I only lost about 4 seconds, but when the field is that close, yeah, it really cost me. I could have got more leader in the end, because it was 4 seconds between myself and him. At the end, post penalties. So yeah, but I'll take it. I'll take the pace that I had, and going into my strongest track. Yeah, there's as I mentioned in the post race interviews, there's no other track that I could probably get a podium at in as close a field as tier 1 is, other than Bahrain. It's where I've got my one and only podium in season 14 on F125 and GSR.
Yeah, hopefully you can achieve that. Bahrain last season hasn't been the best track for you either. Obviously, it was very unlucky there at the end.
We
got taken out,
taken off. Yeah.
Let's hope that doesn't happen this time. But yeah, let's see. Then you've got quite a competition this year, I would say.
Yeah.
I would have said last season it was definitely possible for you to get a podium there. This season, we've got some very strong contenders there.
It's gonna be close, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be really tough, but yeah, either way, or nonetheless, I should say, good luck for that. I mean, at least already points. on the
Yeah.
account. Wasn't the same last season as well, so good points at least, or at least some points then. But yeah, I don't think we have anything left for you to say, or about you to say, actually.
No, I'm just hoping Bahrain goes a bit better, because I'm hoping to redeem myself from I could have got probably a top 5 last season had I not been taken off, and I was so close in ETSR to getting second, but unfortunately that fell through as well. So hopefully I'll
some redemption finally.
I'll be up there. I'm going off a bit of a high after I finally got my first F1 25 win in ETSR Div 2. So we'll just have to see how it goes, really.
Yeah. Just have to see, exactly. We then move on to our last point finisher of the first round of Tier 1 this season. And I mean, who else should it be than Jimbo? The man also has some very quiet races, and then he just all of a sudden just finishes the race inside the points. But Jimbo is such a great driver. Like, he might not be the quickest driver in this tier, but he is very consistent. He stays out of trouble, and he gets the rewards every time in a race. Like this, for example, he still manages to get inside the top 10, gets the 1 point at least, and yeah, just is going home with a points then at least, rather than 10 other drivers. So yeah, once again, on its own, it's quite an impressive race again from Jimbo.
Oh yeah. I personally, and everyone in the call was really delighted that he started off the season with some points. As you can tell, he had a lot of pressure from Mafia at the end. I will move on to Mafia's ridiculous strategy. There, a 5-stopper somehow for Mafia, and he still nearly got points. Just showed you how mad Melbourne was. But James, you truly cannot get anyone more loyal to the league than him, and he has. And the Tier 2 Season 7, Tier 2 Season 8 champion, started off the season really, really well.
Yeah, fun fact to Jimbo maybe. He finished every race last season. So not a single DNF, and except of 3 races, he got points in every one of them.
Wow.
Which is, I'm gonna be honest here, Jimbo is a driver that you kind of forget from time to time, because obviously he's not like the.
Sorry, James.
Yeah, sorry for that, but it's like, because he doesn't have like those big outliners, you know, like some other drivers, like Hitman, for example. Also got a podium last season. A driver you not really expected, but Jimbo, he gets those points every time. He's scoring consistently throughout the season. Sometimes it's only 1, sometimes it's 2. Like a few times it's 4 or even 6 points last season. And this time again, he just starts off the season again, and he is inside the points position already. That I think is very impressive. How he can be so consistent through not just 1 season, not just 2 seasons, but like for a whole career, basically. I think that is some very, very good driving. David, I can't remember the word now, but
driving consistency.
Yeah, driving consistency or racecraft. I guess I wanted to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, really happy to see Jimbo still driving and still getting points. So yeah. And still, he has such a great spirit and also racecraft that all of our new drivers, they can learn a lot from Jimbo, in my experience. Because Jimbo, he doesn't even have that many incidents. I can't even remember a single one now from last season, basically. So that just shows how great of a driver Jimbo is. Like, what a calm mind he also has doing driving and stuff like that. So, and in the end, he still gets the result done. So, fair play to him. And yeah,
Yeah.
he showed it in the race as well, even fending off Mafio then at the end, who pretty surely had the better tires than him.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could probably say that because Mafia made a 5-stopper in that race. That was, I mean, well.
We do still had some safety cars, some virtual safety cars, which way stuff,
Yes.
probably. But yeah, nonetheless, getting that close to the point still is impressive for Mafia.
Oh yeah. I'm happy that he's my teammate. Although we were quite close together at the start of the race, but then he pitted really early onto those hards, and I didn't really see him much from there. He didn't really do much in the race, but yeah, he was close to getting points, but expect to bounce back from him in Bahrain.
Yeah, hopefully. And drivers that also hopefully can bounce back in Bahrain are our next 3 drivers. I would just do them all at once. That would be Ritzert in P13, Sleazy Uhu in P14, and Maximo in P15. Yeah, tough luck for all of them, basically. Especially Ritzert, maybe our Tier 2 champion from last season. Definitely had higher hopes for the first round of the season. I think like especially Lenny shows where he could have been somewhere around, because those two were pretty equal on pace at the end of last season. So Ritzert definitely has the pace to be inside the top 10 and getting some points every race. But yeah, overall, all 3 of them not the greatest of races.
No, well, we forgot about Kuro as well.
Kuro.
He also didn't have the best of races, but Ritzert was the one who surprised me, because he wasn't really on the pace the whole time. It was a very uncharacteristically scrappy race from him. I think it's just because let's be honest, he had it quite easy in Tier 2 last season, and now the step up to Tier 1 has been a major shot for him, and he said that he made a few mistakes because he was surprised by the pace difference, and it just shows you that the step up to Tier 1 is a big step from Tier 2. But he'll gradually get used to it, or the reigning Tier 2 champion. Kuro, a bit of a disappointment for him, especially as his teammate Miranda was right up there. But again, Kuro also had a bit of bad luck, as did Sleazy and Maximo. So I mean, they'll all hope to bounce back as well. But probably the biggest what if from that race is Grenade, because he obviously got taken off by Matt at the start, and then he spun at the death curve on the exit of turn 12, which put him out of the race. So yeah, and he was not happy due to the lag, but we're removing the formation lap for him for next race. So hopefully his pace will return by the time we get to Bahrain.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe one thing to Ritzert, to complete that. We had the talks with Overdrive as well in the meantime after the race, and he also said that it is a big step from Tier 2 to Tier 1 because of the difference on how the races be done. He said in Tier 1 it's much more common to have like DRS trains and the pressure being there for the whole duration of the race. So obviously that is something our new drivers have to get used to, especially the ones stepping up from the lower tiers into this one now, like Lenny and Ritzert, for example. So yeah, it's just a little bit of a different driving here, and the pressure is much higher, obviously, even though if it's just because you're in Tier 1 now and not Tier 2 anymore. But yeah, like you said, I do believe too that the drivers will get used to it. Obviously, the first couple of races will be difficult for them, but I have no doubt that they will adapt to that in during the season. And yeah, I think the grid might be even more closer at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But then Grenade definitely the biggest what if, like I said. Great pace in qualifying, great pace in the race leading up to that moment. Even with the broken front wing, he still had great pace.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, it was just one small mistake. And obviously at the part of the circuit where you don't want to have one small mistake, because it just showed that one small mistake can lead you being in the barriers and out of the race. And that's exactly what happened. And yeah, we mentioned it earlier as well with overdrive, like you can't have, with overdrive, no, with AMG, sorry, that if you really want to challenge for the title, you don't want to have mistakes. Obviously, they will happen at some point during the season. They will happen to all of them at one point during the season. So one mistake alone doesn't mean you're out of the title. But yeah, that's 25 points. That's Grenade losing on the championship leader, in this case, Speed Demon.
26 already.
26, of course, pole point. But yeah, if that is to happen at the end of the season, we would talk about a mistake that cost the title. So, I mean, this could maybe end the title hopes for Grenade here, but it also doesn't need to be doesn't need to mean the end of the world now. So hopefully he can bounce back in Bahrain. Bahrain is a little bit more forgiving on mistakes. Well, obviously, still don't want to do them, but yeah, I'm sure he can bounce back, and I'm pretty sure that we're gonna see Grenade and being on the podium next week, so because he was very quick. But yeah, let's find out. I mean, all the other guys as well. We had 5 DNFs, which is quite a lot. Call me uncle as well. He finished in P16, then Hitman P17, Grenade in P18, Face Finlay P19, and Burl in P20. All of them. Yeah, obviously the worst start into the season that you could have had. So yeah, hopefully they're all gonna finish the next race on a higher note then. And yeah, but you got any thoughts about those other guys DNFing?
Well, obviously a big what if was Grenade. Hitman as well. He was incredibly strong. He qualified 3rd. And he was up there before his mistake as well. And Call Me Uncle as well. He's also going to be strong in that Mercedes. Yeah, I mean, there's so many drivers that I can think of that are going to be strong. It's so close in Tier 1, and you always go from a Tier 1 race absolutely sweating buckets because you need to be on. You need to be on your game for the entirety of that 45-50 minute race, because as we saw time and time again in that race, one mistake and that's it. You're done for. Yeah,
definitely. And yeah, will be interesting to see how the drivers then react to that in the next race, because they obviously the first race is always special. You need to get used to it. You need to see where you are in terms of the grid, like in terms of the pace. You need to see who's around you, where are the other drivers and stuff like this. So the first round always very special. Let's see how the drivers adapt then for Bahrain then, and how they will behave. Maybe what changes, like what drivers will be good at Bahrain, or which drivers had just a very good result in Melbourne now. And yeah, I mean, we always say this, but we need to see the next round then to truly take some conclusions. And I would say we'll quickly cover the team standings as well. Obviously, no surprise with Speed Demon and Trixie both driving for Racing Boats. The Racing Boats have a comfortable lead already in the constructor standings. 44 points.
An understatement.
Yeah. 44 points for the Racing Bulls, ahead of the sister team, the Red Bulls, with 18 points. Then we've got Sauber in P3 with 16, Ferrari in P4 with 10 points, Mercedes 9 points in P5, Alpine then in P6 with 4 points, Aston Martin in P7 with the 2 points from 8. And then at the bottom we have McLaren, Haas, and Williams without any points so far, but obviously first round only. And yeah, 8, I'm gonna ask you directly, is there anyone stopping Racing Bulls this season?
No, probably. Probably not. It'll be more of a surprise if they don't win this this tier 1 championship, to be honest. The only thing I can see happening is Speed Demon has got exams at the tail end of this season, so he might not be as quick as he would be normally, but it's Speed Demon after all. He's going to be quick no matter how much practice he does, and you'll still have Trixie there. So I think we knew coming in that Racing Bulls were going to be strong, and yeah, it's going to take something pretty special for them, for anyone else to win the tier 1 constructors this season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to be honest, without the penalty, Overdrive would have been P4, so that would have made a Red Bull P4 and 5, which would put him up to 22 points, which is still only half the points that that the Racing Bulls got. But still could. I feel like, yeah, obviously it's gonna be difficult. Speedy Man and Trixie Derry are the quickest team-based drivers maybe right now. But yeah, nonetheless, I think I'm quite surprised on the good result from More Leader. So that gives me some hopes that Red Bull could have a say in it in the long term. Obviously, Overdrive will be there. He will be at the front. He will be fighting for the win. He will be challenging the Racing Bulls driver for those points. And if More Leader could be like right behind him, like getting those crucial points as well, I think there could have been something going there. So I wouldn't count out Red Bull immediately. It's gonna be difficult for them, yes, but I wouldn't count them out yet. Then we've got Zauber. Yeah, obviously they've got AMG as a reserve this week, so yeah, difficult to tell how good they will be doing. And then Ferrari as well. Yeah, Ferrari got Kuro and Amaranda, so they are decent drivers as well, but is there anyone quick enough to challenge the Racing Bulls? I'm not too sure. Yeah, I gotta agree. Like, I think if anyone can challenge them, it's the Red Bulls. But the Racing Bulls won't have that difficult season.
No. Well, we'll just have to see. Anything can happen. In tier 1, Red Bull could come back fighting in the second half of the season. But yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see as we go through this season.
Yeah, I mean, 12 races, so still a long way to go. So.
Oh yeah.
All right, but I think we'll pretty much cover tier 1. I think we can take like some basic questions about tier 1. Then, how would you describe the competitive landscape now after round 1?
Mental. You know, it is completely mental just how close tier 1 is. I think it was like the top 15 or something that was separated by a second. It's completely mad how close we are, and it makes it an absolute pleasure both as a driver and as a commentator, because it's so much fun to be able to fight with people around you, but also to watch it as well. And honestly, probably sweaty as well. but yeah, we'll have to see as we head into the remaining rounds of the season. So 11 races to go, a long way to go. A lot of tracks, a lot of different tracks compared with Melbourne. So yeah, so I'm just really excited to continue this season.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned the different kind of tracks. Bahrain is such a track, and do you think, maybe except from you now, do you think there are any drivers that might benefit more from Bahrain compared to Australia?
I don't know. I have no idea, to be honest, because I don't really know, to be fair.
It's difficult to say, right?
Yeah. I mean, apart from myself, there's not really anyone else that I can say is like particularly stronger. Bahrain.
I'm taking a look at the results from last season. Like you mentioned,
last season was topsy-turvy, so you can't really take much from it.
Anyone that was like particular better? And Bahrain, not really actually.
Hitman was quite strong there. So he'll be looking to bounce back, obviously.
But actually, he was worse than Australia.
Oh, right.
And China as well. So actually, it was his worst race of the season, except from Qatar, where he DNF'd. So, actually, quite difficult. Yeah. I feel like maybe I can't. Trixie, maybe.
Obviously, Jonas will be making his first race of the season. He did pretty well last season.
Yeah, he did well. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, and who else? Speeding was still quite up there, but there were a lot of drivers last season that were a one and done in Bahrain, so you can't really take much from it.
Bahrain last season, the only track where neither Overdrive or Speed Demon was on the podium.
Yeah, exactly.
That's also a ridiculous fact. Like Overdrive, our champion, and Speed Demon, the runner-up. One of them was always on the podium, but in Bahrain, none of them was on the podium. So.
No, I think that says something, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna find out if Speed Demon can break that curse as well, being on the podium then in Bahrain. But yeah, I think we pretty much covered then everything for Tier 1. Was a very exciting race in Australia. And who also had a very exciting race in Australia was Tier 2. Yesterday on the Saturday. So from now on, Tier 2 and Tier 3 both will have the provisional race results.
Yeah.
As we don't have the official yet, with penalties being applied or appealed. So we have to go off the provisional results. And in Tier 2, we saw Redo taking his maiden GSR win from P3 on the grid. What impressed you about that drive, 8?
Well, I mean, Tier 2 was probably the most exciting of the three, and what really stood out to me was Redu's racecraft, especially with Souls. Them two had a constant battle in the first half of the race. But what stood out with Redu from the others was the fact he was the only one in the top 10 to not get a penalty. And that paid absolute dividends at the end for him, and it was the perfect debut for the Frenchman. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Definitely. I was watching the stream. You obviously commentated it, and what I immediately recognized though was that Rido also was one of the few who didn't make any mistakes. I mean, we saw Souls leading parts of the race, but he made a mistake. Hapalito also had a great race, but also spun out on his own. But Rido did nothing of that. He had a very clean race, very consistent. Yeah. Do you think that might be also a thing overall in Tier 2? Do you think that could be, like a key role or key, damn it, like. Is it important to win or to fight for the Tier 2 title? Is it important to stay consistent rather than having pure speed?
Yeah, because Tier 2 is probably the closest tier on paper in terms of pace, and Australia proved that. And yeah, I mean, top 6 are pretty much just 9 seconds. I mean, it just shows you just how close they were. And yeah, and Redu was on absolute fire in that race. After Happer's mistake, he never really looked back from there. But the likes of Lassie, Odin, Boover, and Souls were keeping him so honest, and he managed that pressure absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, definitely. And no, not and. Let's talk maybe about Lassie Boy as well, because he didn't make it easy for Redo in the race. Pole position for Lassie Boy, which was great to see after a difficult season in Tier 1 last season. But he just, like Callum, basically misses out on the win. Yeah, do you feel like he could still be like a good contender for the win, or do you feel like it was more a little bit of, not, I don't want to say luck, but do you feel like he could be like a good black black horse? What do you say?
No,
be behind the top three, or do you still feel he could be up there and fighting for the wins as well?
He'll definitely be up there. He qualified on pole position. Again, he was really up there with the likes of Redu and Souls throughout that race. Yeah, he really just kept himself to himself. Battled when he needed to, fought when he needed to, and yeah, after a difficult tier 1, it was a really good start to the season for Larcy.
Yeah, definitely. And also, let's talk about the third guy on the podium. Basically, just like in tier 1, I think the biggest surprise on the podium, Odin. Had a good and clean race as well. Profited, obviously, from the mistakes from Souls and Haparito, and ended up being on the podium. He was very happy about that, which was great to see. What do you think about his drive then?
I tell you, I was absolutely delighted with with his podium. So well deserved, especially after he probably should have got a podium in Brazil before he made that mistake. He made no such mistakes in the race. He absolutely was flying on that last stint. He made the perfect strategy call to the mediums on that last safety car, and he absolutely flew through the field from 11th all the way to 3rd. Helped with the fact that he only got 3 seconds worth of penalties. Was just able to overhaul Buva for 3rd place there, and obviously rounding off a fantastic first weekend in tier 2 for McLaren. McLaren have had so much success in tier 2, and it looks like Redu and Odin are gonna do just that once again.
Yeah, and heading into Bahrain, obviously we still have to take into account Haparito and Souls. Those two, they will have a say in the championship fight for sure.
Yeah.
But do you think a weekend like this could really boost, like Redu, Lousy Boy, Odin especially as well, could really boost their performance as well? That a good start into the season could really help you, gather more speed or pace and just get into the fight as well, even though at the start of the season you might not be realistically in it.
Yeah, I agree with that. You've got it's tier 2 is all about consistency. Happer especially was the biggest shock there, because he pretty much led it from start to when he made that mistake. He should have got pole, but of course he had that incident with Buva, and then he led from the green from the start, and yeah, he never really looked back until he made a slight error at the second to last corner, which sent him round, and it was right after the safety car, so he just went down and down and down the order, and there was no real picking him back up from there. Souls had a very similar incident also at turn 15, except it was on the entry, not the exit, and he'll be a bit disappointed with that race as well. But expect them both to be very very strong as we head into Bahrain.
Yeah, and from a driver's perspective, how hard is it for you to pick yourself up after such a result? I mean, Souls still manages to finish in P8, so he gets at least 4 points. Haparito, P12, no points at all for him. And that's very tough weekend, especially at the start of the season. So, yeah, how hard will it be for him to recover from that?
It all depends on your mindset, to be honest. If you think deeply about things like I do, it might be a little bit more disheartening. But yeah, I mean, but Happer said after the race he wasn't too disheartened by it. He was just really happy with his pace, especially as he's very much now got used to his wheel. So he's pretty much he was delighted that he was even in the hunt for the for the race win. I didn't have a chat to Souls, but he was very respectful with the likes of Redu in that race. He had an absolutely cracking battle, as I mentioned when talking about Redu. But yeah, but both of them are going to be definitely ones to watch.
Yeah, all right, and then let's talk about P4 and 5. I would say, Booba in P4, Lillelud in P5. Very good results for both of them as well. Especially Lillelud, I think will be very happy with that result. P5, 10 points for him and the Ferrari team. Yeah, what do you think about their performances then?
Especially was very, very impressive, because he was originally in tier 3, but we moved him up, and it was definitely the right decision, because he absolutely flew on those hards at the end of the race. He made the absolute perfect strategy call, and he actually won the race on track before unfortunately his 6th second, which is what cost him the race win in the end. But yeah, highly impressive from Booba, and I'm expecting great things from him in Bahrain. And Leal, not quite as on the pace as the top 6 were, if you like, but the Norwegian finished off last season very strong, and he started off this season with a very strong 5th place.
Yeah, definitely, and I think this could also be a good result for them. Just like Odin's podium is boosting his. Damn it, his.
Self-esteem or something like that.
Yeah. Basically, I think this will also have the same effect on Lillelud and Booba. Maybe not as much as the podium, but still, I think they'll be very happy with that. And yeah, hopefully. We see some great racing for them in Bahrain as well. Behind them, we've got Venus in P6, Venus Gaming, and the return of GSR Riot in P7. Maybe let's talk Venus quickly before we move on to Riot's. Venus started P15 and finishes P6. Talk about a great drive into the points.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Vanus was very impressive in that Williams. Perhaps didn't have the most consistent race, because I remember him going off with Noz, I think it was, on lap 24, going off at turn 14, where when them two, I can't remember if they made contact or if it was just them going off. I think it might have been just them going off. But yeah, but it wasn't the best situation for them two. But yeah, but simply put, Vanus's lack of penalties absolutely saved in there. And yeah, cracking drive from him from 15th on the grid. And then we go to the one of GSR's only 3-time champions, one of only 3 drivers to be 3-time champions. Riles, great to see the American back, and what a debut he put on. He wasn't the best in qualifying, and maybe not had the best race pace. But again, what really saved him was the fact he had no penalties, and it was a cracking drive from him. Gained 11 positions, the most amount of any driver, and he could be really pleased about that comeback.
Yeah, I'm also very happy to see him back. I do think he has to get used to it again, but I have no doubt that he will, and that we'll see him fighting for some better positions throughout the season. So yeah, can't really wait to see more of Riot. I think once he gets used to it, he will put up a great show. Be a bit more better than in qualifying and in the race as well. So yeah, can't really wait to see more of him. And yeah, I mean, decent start into the season, P7. I think he should be satisfied with that. If he's really happy, I can't tell, because Riot obviously is used to finish in different positions.
Yeah.
But yeah, nonetheless, I think it is a good start for him into the season. Now he has a good foundation to build up on. and yeah, come back even stronger than for the next couple of races. Yeah, Souls, I think we covered already. Talked about his race. Or do you got anything left to say for Souls then?
Not particularly. I think we said mostly. Yeah, he's looking pretty strong.
Yeah. That's for sure. Definitely want to keep an eye out. In Bahrain then. P9 then. Ayrton Senna. Good result for him. In the Aston Martin, started P12, so just outside the points. In the end, finished just inside the points. It's one of those, also quiet races that you don't see any much of, cause he didn't made the biggest moves that we've seen, but also didn't have any big mistakes or something like that. Just a quiet race from him, getting those 2 points, which should be good for the remainder of the season, and. I not really anything left to say. I don't think he's gonna be one to watch during the season. Oh, not one to not watch. No, wait. He's not gonna be up there at the front. I wanted to say. Still, I think if the situations are good for him, I think he could get inside the top 5 every now and then if the race turns his way. But besides that, also decent race in Australia.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't too bad on the actual race pace for Senna, but what really cost him there was the amount of penalties he had. I think he had about 12 seconds, which unfortunately got him down the grid. I think he crossed the line in P6, but yeah, he went down to P9 in the end, which was a bit of a shame. Obviously, him being my teammate, I did hope for a little bit more, but we'll just have to see how he does. How he goes, because he's a rookie after all, so there's always room to improve.
Yeah, definitely. Let's move on to P10 then. Nosk. Also good race from him. Started P9, finished P10 in the end, so also decent race for him. Not much to say either for him. Just kept it clean mostly. 21 seconds then at the end behind Redo. 4 seconds behind Ayrton Senna with the penalties, so yeah, kinda in a no man's land. Although he had quite some competitions behind, in the names of I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Hey ho.
Okay. Hey ho.
Yeah.
And but also maybe even more Habalito, which went too far behind him, but in the end he took that one crucial point there. Any thoughts on Nosk?
Well, I mean, he's made history in GSR by being the first Q-ation driver in the league. So it's great to see GSR expanding into the Middle East. But he didn't have too bad of an. Of course, his most noteworthy moment was him going off in term 14, as I mentioned, with Vanus. But Nosk Q, he seems incredibly passionate about what he does. He seems really willing to improve. He's constantly asking me if he can go in lobbies. So I reckon there's I feel like I'm just repeating myself now, but there's definitely room for improvement as well for Nos.
Yeah, just to get it straight, what nationality did you say he was from?
Kuwait.
Kuwait, okay.
Yeah.
I was confused. It sounded like you said Croatia, which means he's our first driver from the Middle East, and I was like, what? Okay then. Let's move on then to the next couple of drivers here. Ahejo, we covered him as well. But a little bit unfortunate that he missed out on the points. Good improvement though, 5 positions he gained in the race, but in the end only P11, so no points for him. Same for his teammate actually, Mouton, who finished down in P14. And I just gotta say, this is actually not how do I say it, like in a neutral kind of way. It makes the combined constructors a lot more exciting since
Yeah.
the Racing Bulls didn't score any points in Tier 2, whereas in Tier 1 they obviously finished in the highest positions possible. So if they had a good team here, that sounded mean. But if they would finish anywhere near the top here as well, it would have been a very boring combined constructors. But because of that, for now, the combined constructors stays a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, hey ho, he had a bit of a difficult first round. He went off at turn 16. No, sorry, not turn 16, turn 12, sorry. At the very far chicane. So yeah, he had a bit of a difficult run. JD Con, I don't really have much to say about him. Same with Mouton, they just had very, very quiet races, and same goes with the Woos. But yeah, but as I mentioned, it's looking very, very close in Tier 2, and I cannot wait to see. I'm so excited that I'm commentating them for the majority of the season. I'm not going to be commentating them this week coming because I'll be in Oslo in Norway, but after that I'll be doing the vast majority of the commentaries, and I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's gonna be an amazing season. Let's quickly cover the not finishers as well, where we have Kleine Pro, Abu Baker, Ludek, Quick, and Astra not finishing the race. Obviously, the biggest outliners will be Abu and Quick, two of the, I would say, quickest drivers in this tier. Not finishing, missing out on crucial points as well. Yeah, especially I would say Abu, because Alpine could be a good team. Abu and Rides together. But yeah, all of them tough luck as well. Not finishing the race, which will lose them some important points. And so yeah, hopefully they can bounce back in Bahrain then. Yeah, 8, you got any thoughts left for those not finisher?
Yeah, I'm expecting Abu to bounce back in Bahrain, because he had a pretty strong quali. He got P7s, and same goes with Quick. The other noteworthy thing that happened with the DNFers was Litka. He made a great move up the inside into turn 6. I can't remember who that was on, but he definitely impressed Overdrive when we were watching it back last night. Yeah,
I was thinking, wasn't there who crashed on that one lap?
Oh, yes. Litka and Quitvik crashed turn 10. So yeah, it was the only really major crash in that race.
Yeah, that looked quite epic, not gonna lie. But yeah, also showed that tier 2 is definitely the tier where sometimes the elbows get out, you could say.
Oh yeah.
But so I'm interested to see how things will turn out in Bahrain then. We could quickly go over the constructor standings as well. We haven't posted them yet because they're not official.
They're not out yet.
Yeah, I'm looking in the app because I have to fix the app as well, because there's a lot of things mixed up here. But yeah, leading the constructors is McLaren on 41 points. But Williams is within reach, 27 points for them, so only 13 points behind.
Yeah.
We've got Red Bull in third with 12 points. Then Ferrari in P4 with 10 points. Alpine in P5 with 6 points. Haas in P6 with 5 points. Aston Martin in P7 with 2 points. And then we've got the Racing Bulls, Mercedes, and Sauber with no points at the moment. But yeah, as it was quite obvious from the race results, McLaren leading. But not as comfortable as the Racing Bulls in Tier 1. But nonetheless, leading. They seem to have a very good team. But then also at the same time, Lazyboy P2, Venus unfortunately down in P6. So the Williams team is definitely up there. I would put them on the same level actually. Like, I feel they could be very good. Both teams. Then we've got Red Bull with Buva up there. JDQ not so much. So might be a little bit more difficult for the Red Bull team. The same goes for Ferrari, but I've got a feeling like McLaren and Williams, those will be the two teams to watch during the season.
Oh yeah, most definitely, Williams had a really good result as well. Of course, Larcy doing most of the work there. Of course, Vanus as well. But McLaren are the leading force. You've also done the calendar in the wrong order, mate.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I don't know why I did that actually, so I have to fix it all. Gotta take some time off the next week to do that.
Yeah. But apart from that, as I mentioned, it's looking pretty close in Tier 2.
Yeah, and maybe one final question then for Tier 2. Might be a little bit controversial, but 8, tell us, what do you think? Will Tier 2 have a clear leader after Bahrain?
No, I don't reckon so.
Okay.
Because it's too close to say.
All right. Okay. Then I think we have everything set for Tier 2, and we move on to Tier 3. Okay, where we have here we go. There we go. All right then, Tier 3. Obviously, the big return of Tier 3 for this season. Was quite a chaotic race, just like Tier 3 used to be. Well, actually, it wasn't that chaotic in the past, but nonetheless, Tier 3 showed that it's not all that easy, either on the game or in the races then. But yeah, in the end, Tier 3, the first race since quite some time happened, and it had a winner in form of Days on his debut. We also had several DNFs, unfortunately. Yeah, so 8, how do you interpret that opening round?
I didn't watch much of Tier 3, but from what I could see, it wasn't the cleanest race there, and it was a bit more spread out than Tier 1 and 2 did, but you would expect that, it being Tier 3's return and there being a lot of debutants in there. But it was a really good first race from Daz. He came out the gate as the winner. Obviously, Callum was second. We've moved him up, so he's not really a factor in the championship now. And we've also moved Walters up as well. He unfortunately didn't finish. But now that they've been moved up, it should be hopefully a little bit closer as we head into Bahrain. Tier 3 is kind of it didn't start off on the best of notes, but I personally think that it will gradually get better as we go through the season.
Yeah, definitely, I think so too. Like you mentioned, we have a lot of newcomers and a lot of people with not that much experience in league racing. So yeah, will be interesting to see. Yeah, like you mentioned, Callum will be moved up to Tier 2. Days will, if I have that correctly now, Days stays in Tier 3, but he will reduce his assists, if I'm correct.
That's right, yeah.
So that will be very interesting to see, because the gaps in qualifying were quite massive between the top 3-4 drivers and the rest. So Days obviously was one of them. So yeah, will be interesting to see how Bahrain will unfold then, if the gaps will be smaller. So yeah, I mean, other than that, Days, pretty good race from him. Obviously, I raced in Tier 3 myself, so I also haven't seen that much from the actual race. But yeah, Days, pretty good win then on his debut. Puts him into the GSR winners list. Callum then in second, also decent result, but yeah, he will be out of the tier then, so not really a point of thinking about what he can do in the championship, because he won't be in it. But behind that, we had Milking both you in P3, so good result for him as well. Also on his debut, he raced in the Asian championship, right? What did he?
I can't remember if he did, but I definitely know it's his debut in the main championship.
Yeah. And I mean, overall, this tier has a very good mixture of drivers with experience and drivers with not experience, and you can clearly see that drivers with experience have a little bit of an advantage against drivers that don't have that much experience. With Orbel then in P4 and Speedy in P5, so also good result for the Aston Martin team.
Yeah, Speedy B especially had some really strong pace, but he struggled with the tyre wear at the end. He tried to make the one stop work, but it just didn't work out for him, so he had to go onto the mediums at the end. He did a good job getting past the likes of the Unsainted, but yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't the best start for Speedy. But I must say, him and Orbel did a really good job. They're kind of carrying Aston at the moment, so I can't complain with their 4th and 5th.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, I haven't looked at the constructor standings of Tier 3 yet, but so I'm very excited to take a look at it in a minute. Well, we also had then you mentioned him, the Unsated in P6, DKX in P7. Very good mixture of drivers there. I think like really difficult to take a guess on where the drivers usually finish, because like I said, Melbourne was a pretty chaotic race. We had a lot of safety cars and stuff, so that really completely changed everything. We had a lot of DNFs, which we come to later. But yeah, McChefs in 8 and Meteor P9 and Infinity P10. So those were the points finishers then. Yeah, I mean, the Tier 2 is probably the most difficult to predict what's going to happen. Especially now with Callum and Walters being out, Days reducing the assists. I think this could be really anyone's game.
Yeah, it's Tier 3 is going to be very unpredictable, especially as it's probably going to be the drivers, probably going to be the tier with the most turnover. So yeah, but it'll just be a matter of who can be the most consistent. And so far, Daz is looking like the favourite, but really it could be anyone's game. Milking's looking really strong. Orbel and Speedy are looking really strong. You didn't have the best of an opening race, but yeah, we'll have to see how you get on, because there were times in Tier 2 last season where you were really strong, but what happened in Tier 3, because it wasn't the best for you?
Yeah, no, it just a little bit unfortunate getting a 10-second time penalty for illegal overtake at the restart, cause I don't know what someone was ghosted and was pretty slow at the restart, which was unfortunate, cause it probably wouldn't have been a 10-second time penalty in real life or something. But it was very early in the race, so no point of getting that 10-second pack, so because I surfed it in the pit lane then. And front wing damage when going for the pit for the pit lane for tire changes and all that stuff. And on the mediums, no grip at all. It was a very annoying race at Australia. Didn't have any pace on the mediums, so qualifying was alright. I just saw that the grid is wrong here for the graph, so I got to fix that as well. But obviously, it's only professional results so far. Just a bit, half an unfortunate race and half a bad race from me. Hopefully can bounce back then next week in Bahrain. But I do gotta say, I was very happy for Infinity at the end when he got past me.
Yeah.
I mean, on one side I was annoyed, obviously, so I was down to P11 and outside the points then. But on the other side, I was happy for Infinity then, for him to score some points after he had also
his first points, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. After he had some tough seasons, you could actually say. So yeah, great for him to finish inside the points. Also, a very loyal driver, I've got to say. He was also in the old GSR server, and I don't know for how long, but he was there for quite some time.
Is that Infinity's first points? I need to have a look. It is, yes. It was his very first point in GSR, so yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait. I check after we concluded this, because I'm pretty sure
last season.
Yeah, but he surely had a point in the old GSR server, surely.
Yeah.
But okay, but let's go over that later. As we had behind me finished Viridan, the only finisher, then left, because all 8 other drivers behind him, they all DNF'd. Yeah, well, I mean, there was there were a lot of debris, I should say. Yeah, well, what surprised you maybe the most about tier 3 than 8?
Well, yeah, I wasn't expecting there to be as many incidents as there were, but yeah, but some of the overtakes, especially from the likes of Speedy, were incredible. I mean, Speedy had really good pace at the end, as I've mentioned a few times now. It's not just me glossing over my team, but yeah, Unsainted, he also made a really good debut. Of course, he's no stranger to League Racing because he's head of TTRL Tier 4. So it's nice to have him over. And yeah, I mean, Tier 3's got quite a lot to prove as we head to Bahrain, but these guys, as I mentioned, will get better and better as we go through the season.
Yeah, and I think at this point we gonna turn to Bahrain, because I think there's not that much we could say about tier 3 with some top guys now leaving.
Constructors, did you want to
constructors. That? Oh, of course. Thanks. I forgot. Jesus. All right, constructors. Here we go then. Leading the constructors is Williams at the moment, obviously provisionally before penalties have been applied, with 32 points. Then we've got Aston Martin with 22 points, so only 10 points behind. Then we've got Mercedes with 19 points. Then we've got Ferrari and P4 with 17 points. So overall, the top 4 within 15 points. That just proves how close this tier is, at least after Australia. Then we've got Sauber in P5 with 8 points, Haas in P6 with 4 points, McLaren in P7 with 1 point. So again, McLaren scoring not so many points, which again means that it's good for the combined constructors, because McLaren obviously had a great result in tier 2. And at the bottom of the tier so far, Alpine, Red Bull, and Racing Bulls with 0 points.
Yeah, it's reasonably tight in tier 3. Of course, I'm happy that Aston are in second at the moment on 22. But yeah, but Williams a really good start to the season. Obviously helped out by Daz's win. Mercedes and Ferrari pretty close behind as well. So yeah, I think tier 3 is probably going to be the one that is the closest as we head through the season. But on a tale of two halves, well, or two thirds and 1/3, I should say, is Williams, because they are first in the tier 3 championship, second in tier 2 championship, but they are yet to score in the tier 1 championship. So yeah, so really it's anyone's game in the combined, and I am very excited to calculate that one, because it will be pretty close, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so too. You could do the same again for the Racing Bulls. Obviously, first in tier 1, last in tier 3 in the constructor standings, and also I think 8 in the constructor standings in tier 2. And then obviously you have McLaren being first in the tier 2 constructor standings, but 8 in the tier 1 constructor standings, and 7th in the tier 3 constructor standings. Like, it's so combined constructors is gonna be very exciting this season, I reckon.
Oh yeah. So, the combined is going to be all over the place. I reckon Williams will be up there though, because obviously they've got 2 tiers that are really strong. They could be leading the combined for the first time I can remember, probably at least season 6. So so it's been a long time since that's happened. But as I mentioned, eager to calculate that one. It'd be either myself or Buchan. Buchan probably with another impeccable graphic. He's already knocked it out the park with a lot of the graphics, and I'd say the Combined Constructors is probably his best work. It looks so good.
Yeah, it did. But yeah, okay. I think then we have a TF3 covered for the moment. Because I also take a look at the time. We're quite a long time already here. So we then quickly go over Bahrain then. The next Grand Prix. Bahrain then, very different characteristics compared to Australia. Heavy braking zones, long straights. Tire wear becomes an even bigger factor. Which type of drivers benefit from this shift in track layout, Date?
Drivers, of course, that are kind on their tires. I would say, I wouldn't say there's as much of a difference as people think in terms of the tire wear around Bahrain in comparison to Australia. If anything, it might actually be a little bit better around Bahrain, because it's a bit of a slower circuit in comparison to Australia. Of course, the same amount of laps, 29, but very much tire wear is going to be a factor once again. The standard strategy will probably be a one-stop, but there might be some drivers trying the 2. But in my experience, the one-stop will be the quicker strategy, and you'll likely see the winners go for that.
Yeah, and do you think Bahrain gives drivers more opportunities to recover from mistakes compared to Melbourne?
There's some areas that yes, especially on the traction zones, but there's not really a death curve, so to say, in Bahrain anymore. Obviously, you've got that very, very tricky turn 9 and 10, which is gonna catch a lot of the drivers out.
And also turn 3. Oh wait, turn 1,
turn
2,
4.
Turn 4,
yeah. Turn 4 is very, very difficult as well, in terms of the undulation you get on the car. It's very, very easy to spin there. So that'll be one to watch out for the drivers.
Yeah, all right. And after one race now, narratives are starting to form, but momentum in the league race momentum in the league race can shift quickly, as we all pretty much know. What do you think is more important than early in the season, like building a points cushion, or being a bit more risky and still going for the top positions? And at one point, do you start talking seriously about a championship contender?
Really, the championship, the championship charge starts as soon as the season does. You've got to be consistent throughout the whole season. Don't take unnecessary risks. Matt might disagree with that. He just send it everywhere, but in my personal opinion, if you don't need to risk it, then don't. It'll just end up probably not working out for you, unless it's on if you're risking only your race and no one else's, then fine. But if you're risking someone else's race as well, it's probably best not to go for it.
All right, and let's look ahead now, 8. One question now: which drivers Oh, wait. Should I phrase it differently? Oh, no, I just go for it. Which drivers are you most curious to watch in Bahrain? Not necessarily favorites, but drivers with something to prove.
Ooh, obviously, Grenade in Tier 1 and Hitman as well. Well, I'm also eager to see how I, of course, get on, considering it's my best track. Then for Tier 2, will Redu continue his pace? Also, Happer, of course, he needs to bounce back, as does Souls. And then in Tier 3, can anyone stop Daz? To be honest, can Speedy make up for a bit of a disappointing first round? And to be honest, I'm eager to see how you get on as well, because
I do it.
because it could be interesting. But can also Milking and Orbital and Speedy close the gap to Daz? I reckon it'll probably be a 4-way fight between them.
Yeah, all right. I would pretty much basically agree on that. So, yeah, I think it's gonna be very interesting then in Bahrain. And one thing I think, did I do that with Overdrive or Vapor last season? I'm not sure, but 8, no, you personally, I know we have a lot of new drivers in this league, a lot of drivers who don't have that much experience in league racing before.
Yeah.
What advice would you personally give all of them if they might watch this now?
Really, just as I've said, don't take unnecessary risks. Well, saying that, go for moves if you can around Bahrain, and just try to save the tires as much as you can. It's the first night race of the season, so also put on a show for us.
All right. Yeah, thanks for that. I think with that we come to the end, because we are 1.5 hours in it already. Was a little bit longer now than expected or planned, but yeah, that's it then for our week preview, or week review and preview from the Melbourne Grand Prix, and also looking ahead to the Bahrain Grand Prix. Thanks, Aid, for joining me here. It was a pleasure. And yeah, that's it, guys. Australia opened the season. Bahrain will begin to shape it. Let us know in the comments who impressed you most in Australia, and who do you think benefits from Bahrain. And yeah, we'll be back then next week. Or wait, when this comes live this week, on Wednesday for Tier 1, Friday Tier 3, and Saturday Tier 2, sorry. I was Soren, on my side was 8. We hope you enjoyed the show, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.